Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have got a little bit of a different topic to talk about, and this is mainly going to be just me telling you about my experience with period panties. So this topic will involve periods, blood, things like that. So if you're not interested in hearing about it, I totally understand. It's not a topic for everyone. You can just click out of this video now. Thank you for clicking, but you know, it's obviously one of those topics where not everybody's going to be into hearing about the details of your period. But if you do want to stick around and hear a little bit about period panties, free bleeding, and some alternatives to some of those products that we use all the time that we just don't think about all the chemicals that go into them. So if you want to hear more, just keep watching. So first I want to get this out of the way. I was sent these to try out. I'm not being paid to make the video, but I am kind of reviewing them for you guys, and I did receive them for free, so just get that out of the way. I am going to be 100% honest though. There's positive and negatives to this, so I'm going to go through all of it really quick with you guys and just give you all the info that I can. So these are from a company called Lilova. There are different brands of period panties, if you want to call them that. So I picked out two styles. This one is a bikini that has like a little band right here, kind of makes it cute. I think this was the pair that I preferred of the two that I got. And then I also got this pair, which the lace didn't hold up that well, so it is just like a bikini with lace. They do have a different style. They have a thong style and they have a boy short style. I actually would be really interested in the boy short, and I'll get into why in just a moment, why that may have been a little bit better choice. I'll go ahead and get right out of the way. This pair for me was a little bit on the small side, so I think that the lace just didn't hold up that well because I got a different size. I was told with one pair to size down, so these are about the same size, but with the material there's a little bit of give to it, but it's not one that's like super stretchy. So if anything, if you are on the fence, my personal recommendation will be to go up a size, because with these there's not a whole lot of give, and the material is somewhat like in between regular underwear and like a swimsuit type of feel. Surprisingly comfortable though. So when I first got these and I felt the material, there's a thickness to the underlining and the back area that is just quite different. So I didn't quite know what to expect, but they are overall pretty comfortable. So yeah, if you're on the fence on sizing, just go one size up. If you are certain about your size, I think you're going to be okay with your original size. Me, I was just a little bit more like in between. To give you an example, if I go to Victoria's Secret, I get a large. So that's my size, but it was just kind of like on the fence. So in this pair, this was the one they told me to size down in. This is a medium, which fits like a large. And then I also got a large in this one here. But essentially, I think these feel like the same size. So yeah, this one definitely is running big. So I would say stay true to size. If I had gotten a large in this, I think I would have been all set, but maybe needed an extra large. It would have been one of those where I'm kind of in between a large and an extra large, if I'm being honest. So the reason I was interested in trying these out is because whether you're using tampons, pads, whatever you're using, if it's made of material, just look at what goes into them, and a lot of the times they're a lot of chemically treated material, sometimes recycled material, which is good to use recycled material, but when you're in such an area of your body where it's important what you have near, I personally was looking for alternatives, so I was interested in these, and I was interested in like a Diva cup. So I think I will still try out the alternative as well. With this, I'll tell you guys like my experience. This is kind of weird to talk about, but on my first day of my period, it's always heavy, and usually after that, it's not bad at all. So I went ahead on the first night after I got my period during the day, and I slept with just these on, nothing else, and I did bleed through. So I got a little bit of blood on my sheets. If you're a girl who has a period, you know that that's not the most uncommon thing. Some people don't have that issue and some people do. I feel like every year as I get older, my first day or two of my period is heavier. So it just seems progressively as I get older that tends to happen. So the first night I bled through a little bit, not really a big deal, but I would say if you are heavy like that on your first day, you may want to use these as a backup, which is a great way to use these underwear. If you're someone who's like extremely heavy flow, no matter what you do, this is a great backup if you are struggling to the point where like you are bleeding through, like you're using a tampon for instance, and no matter what you do, you are bleeding through them and you can't seem to keep up. This will be a really great backup. They're a little pricey, but when it comes down to having that kind of like comfort of knowing that you're not going to bleed through your clothing. I know I've had people in my life that have experienced that, where they're literally taking like extra changes of underwear and clothes with them because they're bleeding so heavily. So that is kind of tough. So this would be a little extra protection for you. I will say this, the most positive thing about it is after my first day and night of having my period, the rest of the time I only wore these. I literally wore one pair and then I washed it, I wore the other, and then I wore the other pair again, and I didn't use anything else during that time, which was, for me, pretty remarkable. So I think what I'm going to try to do going forward is try out the cup, and if that works okay for me, use that during the first day or two and then just go to these, and that way I am not using anything that I have to keep purchasing. You think about just the quantity that piles up over years of having a period, just think about that, all of that going into a landfill. That's kind of crazy too. So if I have these and a cup, I'm literally, that's all I need, unless I need to like replace a pair, that kind of thing. So overall, I do think it's really nice if you're someone who is comfortable with it. So they do have different layers inside that help to absorb. I was shocked at how absorbent they were. So one of my other concerns using them was that it's gonna feel gross. It's gonna feel wet. It's not gonna feel like dry. And I was kind of like grossed out by that. I was like, oh, I don't want to feel like I'm walking around dirty all day. I didn't feel like that. I literally worked standing on my feet all day long, picking stuff up, walking around constantly, going about my day totally normally, and I didn't have any issues. I didn't bleed through. So that was pretty remarkable to me. So overall, I was pretty damn impressed with these. I think my expectations were kind of low. So even though it wasn't 100% positive, I was still pretty blown away. So I think my favorite way to recommend these would be to use them as a backup, or if you do have, like me, some days where you're not bleeding so heavily, you can get away with just wearing this, and that is such a comfort to not have to worry about, oh, do I have pads with me? Do I have tampons with me? Do I have some at work? Because I usually would keep some in my locker, and I would always forget. Like, I am the worst. I think the only thing you're gonna deal with is like, if your cycles are really, really good, you can actually wear these if you feel like you know when your period's going to start. Mine is pretty regular, but not like to the point of I know exactly the day. So what I would do is carry around maybe the cup and have it in my purse for those times when I didn't really realize it was coming, you know what I mean? Because it kind of always hits me, even though I know the general timing. I think that's my general thoughts on everything. Trying to make sure I'm not forgetting and like leaving out any information. If you do have any questions beyond everything that I've described, then drop that in the comments below and let me know what you think. I'm interested to see, have any of you guys ever used these before or done something similar? I know it's a bit different for a lot of people. It's kind of an uncomfortable thing or an uncomfortable topic to talk about, but I think it's important because it goes back to our health, and as women, that's something we think about all the time. We deal with it constantly, and for most women it's just never ending. Like, you have that cycle until one day it stops. So for such a large portion of our life, this is something we deal with. So I do think it's important. So let me know what you think below, and I appreciate you guys watching this video. I know it was a little different. I'm sorry if it was not a topic that you really wanted to hear too much about, but I do think it's important to share this with you guys. So that's everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate any support that you give me, whether it's watching, liking, commenting, subscribing. Share the video if you feel like somebody in your life could benefit from these, and I will of course have Lilova linked below if you would like to check it out. So thank you again, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!